Hello traders, this is a market recap for Tuesday the 29th of October. Today we're looking at the European time zone that we look at in our trading rooms, and in that trading room we trade the FGBL, which is the Euro Bund market or the Euro bond market, futures market. And the first thing I always do before I trade on any single day is I look at a 60-minute chart, and that gives me a great overview. I'll just bring it onto the screen here, make it a bit bigger for us to all see. So we have a look at the last few weeks. What the 60-minute chart does is it gives me a great overview of what happens throughout a day. I can see the main moves within a day. So between these perforated lines here, I'll just open them up a little bit. Between these perforated lines you can see this is one day, from the 17th to the 18th. The 18th was obviously a Friday, and we go to the 21st, 22nd, 23rd and so forth. But within the day I can see whether it went up and down and what they tried to do within the day. Whether they tried to go up, tried to go down, whether it went sideways, what it did. I can see the main moves. You can see here on this particular day on the 22nd, they opened up and they went pretty sideways, and there was a bit of news here. This was a Friday, I remember this one well, and the market popped up and held up at that level. So I can see, you know, off the news, the trends that happened, and basically each one of these candles represents an hour in time, and you can see what they tried to do over each hour. So looking at this particular chart gives me a great overview of where the market sits, and it also gives me a great overview of what they've tried to do in each and every particular day. So where we're sitting right now, we're looking at Tuesday. So what was Tuesday? Did we say it was the 29th? A couple of days ago. So looking at it, where the market was positioned at this stage, we can see if we look back over the past couple of weeks, we've got, you know, the market made some highs over here. We've pushed down and pushed down. We've got a bit of a correction, a bit of a pullback, and the market has since then rallied and made some good gains. It's hit these high levels again and been able to push through them. And since it's done that, whoops, I've just moved that line there that I shouldn't have. Since it's done that, what's happened is the market has gone into a bit of a slow grind. So the last sort of week to week and a half, maybe even 2 weeks worth of trading has been pretty slow going on the FGBL. It's been pretty slow, pretty tough to get some opportunities happening within there. You can see here the range is really tight, really slow. The market's in a slow grind, and that's what happens when the market reaches the high sometimes. Sometimes it gets up there, and the reason for it is that nobody has any reason to sell. Everybody who's invested in the market is along for the ride and waiting for it to hit the top. They've got their money invested in there. They're going higher and higher and higher. And I'm not talking about day traders like us. I'm talking about people who are swing trading or might be holding on for a bit of a longer term. They've got contracts in the market, and they're just waiting for the ride to finish. And they're going up and up and up, and they're looking for a significant point to sell. So whenever they think the market has reached its high, they will sell their positions, which will in turn create a bit of a correction. Now we saw actually last night that we've got a bit of a slight bit of a correction here. This is on the back of some US news. So this coincides with, you know, some news out of the US which affected this market. But this could be the signs of a bit of a sell-off now for the market to have a bit of a correction. And this is actually great for us because the slow, grindy, uptrending move here that we've had over the last sort of week and a half, 2 weeks, should hopefully be coming to an end. Some sellers will get a bit of fresh blood into this market and make it move around a lot more. So I always look at a 60-minute chart before I start. On this particular day, we were right up at the high, so I was expecting probably a nice, not a nice, but a slow-moving, grindy day. If you know, and I'm always on the lookout at these type of areas when we're right up at the high for a drop like this to happen. So we're looking out for that and waiting for that and hoping for it to happen. In the meantime, we're looking for a few opportunities. So we'll have a look at what they are. So on this particular Tuesday, we were waiting for, I was waiting for the market to show me something, whether it wanted to go up higher or whether it wanted to come back down. So the market's opened up here. We're already at the highs. It's gone pretty sideways here until sort of the unofficial open of the market around here, 4 o'clock. 4:30 is when a lot of news announcements happen and come into the market, and that's when we see most of the action start between 4:30. So it's got to about 445 and the market's pushed up for the first time. So it's pushed up and it's actually broken. See this ZH line, this green line here? That was the high that it hadn't broken for a while, and they've been hitting their head on that. You can see that on the 60-minute chart, but they've been hitting their head around here for a long time, and they've finally been able to break up above it. Alright, so what I'm looking for now is, have they got the strength to hold above it and keep going? Now, what this formation here, this price action is showing me, is the market's pushed up and they're trying to go higher. Now, you can see here they're getting stuck at the 22, and the 22 is holding quite nicely, and they're trying to go higher, but not really making any real ground. Like they've overall, from sort of 5 o'clock here, when they hit the 140.28, they went up 1, 2, 3, 4 ticks over the course of an hour and a half. They were able to gain 4 ticks over the course of an hour and a half. So that's not really them pushing up higher. It's gone into a bit of a sideways pattern. And then when this came along, the market sold off and they broke down below that 22 level and then broke down below this level here at the 20 as well. There was an indication to me that it was almost like one of the straws that's about to break the camel's back. So the market is likely to turn around and maybe get a bit of a trend down because they're right at the highs and they've tried to go higher but haven't been able to do it. So we took a trade here short at the 22 off a little pullback here. It was a power fade trade. So the power point here to go short at that one, 3 ticks before. We actually got in a bit of a tick earlier. We took that opportunity. And basically as soon as we did that, the market went into a bit of a sideways pattern. So we're in the trade for over an hour here. And then the market finally dropped down and went to the 8 tick profit target. And then you can see now that the shackles are sort of off a little bit, and the market is sort of free-falling, not free-falling, but quite easily coming down, and the sellers have taken control. For the rest of the afternoon, that was basically, that took us up to the end of our trading session. Right, so that was a winner for the day. Since then, if anyone was to stick around and keep trading, they got a trend all the way back up. Now, looking at this, the way that I would have traded this, if we stuck around and traded, the market pushed down and made a bit of a low here. Now, I wouldn't have been looking back on the long side until the market broke this area here. And for me, to get the confirmation to look back on the long side, it needs to break it twice. So the market's come down, it's come up. At this stage, I would still be thinking short. When it got up to here, and this candle right here pushed up above these previous resistance areas, then I'm thinking to myself, okay, we could start looking on the long side now. They're starting to show a bit of strength. They've broken some levels, and now they've actually able to hold up above it. So now I'll be thinking back onto the long side. There's plenty of room on the upside, all the way back up to the 32 for us to get something on the long side, and they pushed up and they went even further than that, and really just took it up all day and were able to hold that level for the rest of the day. So that's basically a summary of what happened on Tuesday, the 28th of October 2013. Look forward to talking to you in the next wrap-up.